Hey guys, Mark Flockhart with Think Insurance, and today we're going to go through State Farm's Drive and Save Safe app, or Save, Safe, Save, State Farm's Drive, Safe, and Save app. So this is the new telematics system that State Farm has come up with that is just destroying rates because it's giving you anywhere from 30 to 50% off of your policy. Obviously, the 30% is advertised because that's one thing I like is that they're not overselling it, but 30% is really good. Some states, they actually offer a 50% discount. Let me also start this video by saying I am not paid by State Farm in any which way. I don't make any commissions. I have no affiliation with them. So this is just honestly a veteran 10 plus year insurance agent giving his advice and letting you know whether it's a really good thing. Although State Farm, if you wanted to sponsor. Now, if you guys are interested in an alternative to this, I actually recommend there's other companies that do offer these safe and save systems. They're called telematics. And I've got some companies that are destroying rates with Carbon Home and all those insurance rates. So basically in the link below, you can check 17 different companies. What I make from that is I get a cup of coffee. Oh, by the way, thank you who yesterday bought me this cup of coffee because you filled out the quote and I think we saved you money. I'm pretty sure you switched. It's not me specifically, it's a company I work with, but yeah, they loved it. So there are some scary parts to this. This is kind of an all-around thing for telematics in general, but State Farm specifically. I did some research on them. What they do is they essentially track 30 days of your driving history, and they average that across 2 weeks, and they give you feedback. So they basically give you a 100% score, which I love. I'm tired of the apps that give you like a 5-point system or a 12-point system or a 30-point system, and you got 8 out of 12. Like, how do I get there? What percentage makes a difference if I stop faster, start faster, things like that. So I want to know that. I like that part about it. Where can you get it? It's in the Play Store. You can actually, I'll tell you here a quick and easy way to get it in a moment, but there's a way that you can text and they can just send you the link to it. Essentially what it is they've got a little Bluetooth device. They've almost kind of, sort of similar, very, very similar to a company called State Auto, who I've actually worked with. And they actually have a little device that goes in your windshield and it just clips up and sticks to the front of the windshield. So it's a Bluetooth device. There is a difference between the two if you have a State Auto policy and you're like, oh man, that looks just like it. Well, it's not, because State Farm's is a little bit less techy, but also in a good way. So what they've done is this system connects to your phone. I'm using my phone as a teleprompter. Crap, I went to go get my phone. So they use your phone and it connects to the Bluetooth device. But what that does is, the cool part is if you're not in the car, it doesn't count the phone as connected. So if I'm in an Uber, if I'm on vacation, if I'm in a friend's car and they're driving crazy, the app stops recording the data because it's not paired with the device in your car. So that's a really cool thing that they've started to do. Thank you, State Farm, for thinking that ahead. That actually is a really good thing. When I did a review for a company called Root Insurance, I'll link that here, they are mainly derivative on that driving history. So one of the things that people were freaked out about was, okay, what happens with them in a friend's car? And they don't really have a great answer for that because it still just tracks your phone because it's an app. There's a couple things that it's tracking. So it's tracking the acceleration, how quickly you're accelerating. So they want to know how fast you're going off of the line. It knows that. Like, your apps are so smart, it knows if you're a foot away from a door. So nowadays it's in the car. You don't have to pick it out of your pocket because it connected via Bluetooth every time you get in the car. Now you're not using it and distracting. Put it in your pocket, you leave it, you put it wherever you want it to go, and it tracks the acceleration. Braking. So hard braking is a big factor for them. You're stopping fast constantly. And it's going to tell you that. It's going to say you got a blah, blah, blah percent in the braking section. They do frequent hard braking. That's really how frequently you're actually braking heavy. They also do something called fast cornering, where if you're turning too sharp into corners, it's going to know that, and it's going to be like, okay, this is a risk. This guy might clip somebody once, and they're just not going to pay attention. Now, speeding, this is actually pretty cool. With speeding, it's tracking the speed that you go, but they give you an 8-mile-an-hour leeway. I actually like that because I usually drive about 7 over the limit on average. Don't catch me, I'm sorry, but I do. I like to go fast. If I could do 100 over, I would do it if it was safe. Honestly, if I could pick a speed, I would say I would probably like to drive on the highway. I would like to drive 15 miles faster. I just like getting there fast. I'm sorry, but I stick within that 7 to 8 miles just because I know most policemen aren't going to pull you over for that. This also tracks distracted driving. So if your screen is on while the car is moving, that's what they consider distracted driving. Because this is the biggest thing out there right now, distracted drivers is the biggest reason people are filing claims, because they're looking at their phone, they're doing something, they're changing the navigation on their GPS, all of that. So they're going to track that. Also, if your phone is moving around in the car. So when you get in the car, if your pocket's going to move around a lot, you may want to take it out. I actually think it's the best spot to be, but make sure it's not like bouncing around on the side seat, because that's going to think that it's distracted driving because it's moving. You're constantly handing the phone to a friend or something's happening and maybe the screen bumps and turns on. So it's going to artificially track that. And if you're not meaning to do that, just know that that could be an error that you're going to get. So how do you get the best discount out of this thing? So obviously drive better, limit the excessive speed, hard stops, limit the driving at night, because it also is a location-based system where it knows when the traffic's heavy. So if you're driving during heavy traffic times, then it knows that. If you're driving at night, that's where a lot of the drunk drivings and all that stuff come into play. So you want to limit the heavy traffic, driving late at night during decreased visibility. So if you're fatigued or impaired and all of that. So what about the discount? If I drive bad, are they going to remove that discount, or are they going to charge me more? Some companies do. There's companies that charge negative 25% to positive 25% in a discount. So you could pay more because of your driving. This one does not. Thumbs up on that, State Farm. Appreciate that. If you drive horrible, you drive bad, and you drive fast and you stop fast, and they find out you're actually Mark's driving your car instead of you, then they're not going to raise your rate. However, there is a piece that they are noticing, that some people get a low mileage discount. It's tracking your miles. So if you're under 7,500 on your policy, 7,500 miles a year, and they find out you're driving 9,500 miles a year, your rate's going to go up. So you will lose that discount. Now, if you're driving bad on top of it, you're going to pay more in general. But keep in mind, if you know that that discount isn't very big, and a lot of times it isn't, it may be still worth it to have that device lose the low mileage, but gain a 20% discount. To me, that is worth it. So I would personally lean towards that if you think you're a good driver. As far as tickets and accidents go, those do not affect that discount. So if you have an accident while it's in your car, or if you do get a ticket in that situation, the ticket itself or the accident itself is enough of a hit to hurt you, but the actual app won't detect that and log that. So it's not rating any of that stuff. Moving on to the negatives. So the things that I personally didn't like was it's a telematics system. I don't like the fact, like most of you are going to put in the comments below, that I don't want to have to prove that I'm a good driver. They just should know that. Like, I get it. They need proof because most people do lie in their insurance policy. They say they're great drivers. They tell you they don't have a ticket and they have 4, right? It's just a common thing. Think of it this way. The insurance company, their fraud departments and their claims departments, when they're really tough on claims and when they're really tough on things, their job isn't to screw you. Their job is to eliminate the fraud. And the fraud is what's hurting you the most. When they allow these people to come in, get all these discounts and get all these good deals with you, you're getting them too, and then they defraud the system, the prices have to go up. Otherwise, the company will lose money and go under. At the end of the day, I get that part of it. I just don't like that I have to share my privacy and show where I'm driving, when I'm driving, although some people don't care. I actually have friends that do it and love it, and that's perfect. The other negative that I noticed is this isn't like a lot of the other systems. Most of the telematic drivings, you do it for a year or you do it for a certain amount of time and then it stops. They track your driving, you're that person forever, they love you or hate you, whatever it is, you go off. This is a renewal every 6 months. State Farm does 6-month policies. So if you are renewing, it's gonna always constantly track you. So you have to have this device working all the time in order for you to get that discount. That's probably the biggest reason I personally don't like it. That kind of leads me to almost outweigh the positives. Now the positive is if I'm gonna save $500, track me all you want, as long as you're not sharing my data, which we will get into in just a moment. The other part is it does state in their policy information that it can be used against you in claims. So if you're speeding and you have an accident, even though the system won't track that as a negative for driving habits, it could count that ticket or that accident that you had against you in a claim. I don't know how that's going to be used. I can't imagine it's going to be used that bad, but I don't know. They don't actually go over that part of it. So just keep in mind that if you have a big claim and they deemed you not responsible, then that may affect your insurance worse than what it should have been. So now onto the part that everybody hates and loves and wants to know about. They love to know to hate it. It's, what are they using the data for? So what can they take from me, and are they sharing it with companies? What are they doing? I'll put a link below where you guys can download the screenshots that I took. That'll actually go through that, and it'll show you like what the main things that they share, and it kind of eliminates all of the fluff, because there's a lot of stuff that you have to read through that you just don't care about. At least I don't. We'll talk about it now, but if you want to download it and share it, that's fine. So they said in here, and they made a little asterisk, but they didn't explain it. They said that they can share your data to perform other activities as permitted by law. So maybe we need to find out exactly what the law is allowing to be shared. They do share some of your data. What they do is they share it within the housing of State Farm. So I'll read it exactly as they've put it. So it says, they share your data with companies that perform marketing or other services for us with whom we have joint marketing agreements. These agreements allow us to provide a broader selection of insurance and financial products to you. So anytime you have a company that is stating that we're doing this for you, you may want to look into it a little bit further. So what I did is that one of those images that I've screenshot is the companies that are within State Farm. There's about 20 or 30 of them that they can share that data with. The question is, what happens if one of them shares it beyond? I don't think they would, because this is like a State Farm thing. But when you start looking at telematics with other companies, you got to be a little bit careful with that. Whether they use the data from anything major or not, it's just knowing that your data is being shared. We're not farm animals. We don't want our stuff to be another number. We don't want to just be that extra little thing in the bucket. So at the end of the day, is this something that you should do? I absolutely think it's great. I think State Farm hit a home run with this. There is a few things that you're going to have to go back and watch to see the negatives to make sure it's worth it for you. But at the end of the day, if you're already with State Farm, this is a pretty cool program. I would join it myself. I would try it out. My wife would do better than I would, but I'd be curious to see what happens, because at the end of the day, I usually don't lie about mileage, so I'm good there. But I also, at the end of the day, I know that I'm not losing a discount. So I don't think I'm going to be hurt either which way by doing this. If you guys are interested in that app, you're going to text this number. It's 78836, and you're going to text SAVE to 78836. That's actually State Farm's phone number. And what that's going to do is, I tried it. It is basically going to link you to, went from my phone again. It's right here. It's on the camera. It's going to link you to the App Store or the Play Store. What I also did is I went straight to my App Store and just typed in State Farm Drive Safe and Save, and it pulled up. So if you want the quick way, just text that number. You can always text stop if they send you other stuff you don't want, and I didn't get anything else. Otherwise, I'll link that below for you guys. If you just want to save time, you can click the link, and there it is. Once again, not affiliated with it, have no ties to State Farm whatsoever. Just thought it was something interesting. You guys were researching it, so I thought you guys may want to know that information. Also, I'll link below. There is a Drive Safe consent. So I actually went through and found their consent form. So if you want to see more specifically what you're consenting to, that's going to be in the description below. Guys, I hope this video was helpful. Give me a thumbs up if it was. Definitely subscribe if you want more information. I'm going to be doing a lot more. Typically on Tuesdays, I'm going to be releasing company-specific teachings so that way you guys can save the most in your insurance. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I will see you in the next one.